You've asked your child to do something very calmly, very rationally, and very deliberately. Instead of action, you get the kid equivalent of crickets, radio silence. Maybe they didn't hear me, you think. So you ask again nicely, firmly but nicely, and nothing again. You feel yourself falling into that familiar cycle of repeat, remind, repeat, remind. And then it happens. The fuse just blows. In a moment of utter defeat, you're left screaming the same demands you had just calmly requested a few minutes ago. The energy escalates and everyone is left feeling frustrated and discouraged. I'm Marisa from Call to Mothering, and I encourage and equip moms who are raising toddlers to teens. In today's video, I'm sharing 7 steps you can take to get your kids to listen to you so the dreaded repeat remind cycle will finally come to an end. Number 1, understand the root cause. If you want to get a handle on your child's unresponsiveness, the first thing you need to do is figure out why he isn't listening. More often than not, his lack of response is a symptom, not the actual problem. If you don't address this issue at its roots, you're sure to see a simple case of not listening blossom into bigger issues such as tantrums, defiance, and backtalk. So, why don't kids listen? Well, sometimes they're simply tired, hungry, or not feeling well. Or it may be just a way of getting our attention. Kids and adults alike have a need to be seen and heard. When this need isn't met, kids will stop listening to us. Not listening may also be a way to express their need for power. When children don't have enough opportunities to exert their power in positive ways, like deciding what clothes to wear, making meal choices, and picking out what game to play, they will exert their power in negative ways. Because children do have control over their body and language, the most common and unfortunately frustrating power struggles happen when children use their bodies and language to defy our requests. By choosing not to listen, kids can assert their power. This behavior is simply a way they express their need for more control and decision-making ability in their lives. So think, is there some deeper control issue that is causing your child to disconnect, such as chores, homework, bedtime, sibling frustrations? Don't lump every communication shutdown under the not listening umbrella. There are times when your child flat out ignores you, but more often than not, it's less about not listening and more about the underlying issue. So dig in and discover what's really going on. Then you can make an action plan to specifically address that problem. Number 2, do away with don't. Negative commands such as don't and no require a child to double process. First, he must process what you've told him not to do, and then figure out what he should do instead. For example, if you say, "Don't touch your brother," your child has to stop the current behavior and determine the appropriate alternative behavior. If I touch him, does that mean I can't hug him? Can we play tag? Can I give him a high five? Can I put on his jacket for him and or tie his shoes if mom asks? Rather, tell your child what to do. Instead of "don't touch your brother," try "use gentle touches when touching your brother." Or, "Your brother doesn't want to be touched right now, so please keep your hands folded while we're in the car." Instead of "don't leave your toys all over the floor," try "please put your toys in the toy bin." Instead of "don't run in the hall," try "please walk in the hall." Positive language is far more effective because it tells children how, specifically, to cooperate. It eliminates unnecessary frustration for your child, who now has clear instructions. Number 3, say yes to yes. Think about it for a moment. What is your normal knee-jerk reaction to the 10,000 requests you get from your child every day? No, right? When you're bombarded with requests, it's difficult to sift through them in a meaningful way. So you just tend to deliver canned responses like, no, not today, or no, I don't have time for that. But when no is your constant go-to answer, it's little wonder kids stop listening to your requests. When we use the same phrases over and over again without much thought also, our children are more likely to ignore us. So, look for reasons to say yes more often. Your yes answers will begin to surprise and delight your child and have them paying more attention when you ask for something. Instead of, no, we can't go to the park, try, the park sounds awesome. Should we go Friday after school or Saturday morning? Instead of, no, you can't have ice cream, try, ice cream is yummy. Would you like to have it for dessert on Saturday or Sunday evening? While there will still be situations that do require a hard no, by offering more yeses, you will increase the chances that your kid will tune back into what you're saying. Number 4, shorten your speech. I was as guilty of this as anyone. Parents, especially moms, tend to turn a 5-second request into a 5-minute dissertation. We get long-winded, we say a whole bunch of words, more words than we need to, and it's honestly confusing to our children. There's a saying in sales, never sell with blah blah, what you can sell with blah. I think it makes sense in parenting too. When trying to get your kids' attention, be as concise as possible, and then they won't even have time to tune you out. Number 5, make sure they understand. At times, I interpreted my children's hesitation to do something I asked as disobedience, but sometimes my kids were just genuinely confused about my instructions or unsure about how to go about completing the task and needed more information. A simple way to ensure that your child has heard you and that she understands is to ask her to repeat back what you said. In the medical field, studies have shown that 40 to 80% of the information doctors relay to patients is either completely forgotten or misunderstood. And keep in mind, these are adults we are talking about, not just children. To combat this understanding, doctors have begun using the teach back method, which calls on patients to teach back to the doctor what treatment instructions they were just given. This method has been shown to drastically increase information retention from patients. The same tool can be used effectively with children. Once you have made eye contact with your child, shortened your speech, and clearly explained what you need your child to do, calmly ask her to repeat back what she's just heard. By ensuring everyone is on the same page, you will see an instant improvement in communication and cooperation in your home. Number 6, say thank you in advance. Help your kids make an appropriate choice by taking this leap of faith. Your preemptive thank you for hanging up your towel after your shower will encourage your kids toward good behavior much more than if you said, I better not see your towel on the floor again. People, and yes, even children, will usually live up to our expectations if we manage them in a positive way. Letting them know in advance that we trust them to do the right thing will cultivate open lines of communication and increase the likelihood that the task will actually get done. Number 7, make an observation. Just like with saying thank you beforehand, you want to keep it positive. If you see a task that's been undone, don't just dive in with a big reprimand and start lecturing your kids. Just make an observation. For instance, I see a jacket on the floor. Or you can ask, what is your plan for taking care of the trash today? What is your plan for is one of my favorite strategies to avoid power struggles. It's empowering because it's presumptive on your part that your child has a plan, and it gives him an opportunity to save face and quickly come up with a plan in that moment if he didn't already have one. Oh yeah, I was planning on taking out the trash right after I finished my lunch. This gives you the chance to put a positive parenting spin on the whole conversation. That's awesome. I really appreciate your help, buddy. So these are my top tips for getting your kids to actually listen. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, you are not just a mom.